Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. A lot going on in the world of wrestling right now. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest news and rumors, the fallout from TakeOver, plus the latest regarding Elimination Chamber, which is just over a week away, live on the WWE Network. You know how much it costs. Anyways, got your questions here, spring.me/AaronRift. That is the place to submit questions for future videos. And the first one today comes from AlexBG92. Hi Aaron, greetings from Bulgaria. You have a phenomenal show. Keep up the great work. I want to say that Rusev indeed said, "I give up, I quit" in Bulgarian at Payback. So Lana did not lie. Now, how do you see Lana in the future as a manager, or do you see her as a wrestler? Well, first off, real quick, I wanted to note that I'm not a fan of Rusev actually giving up. I liked the idea that he was not quitting and telling the referee in Bulgarian, "I would rather die than give up." And Lana is so upset that she gives up for Rusev. The fact that Rusev actually quit, not a fan of that, but not really a shock. I mean, I expected Cena to decisively win this final match despite the storyline with Lana, and I'll get to more about Rusev in a second here. Regarding Lana and what's next for her, one would think the eventual plan is for her to be a full-time wrestler. A lot of people have been comparing Lana to Sable. Sable came in as Mark Merrow's wife. She had no wrestling experience. She was merely a valet. And over time, WWE developed her into a wrestler so much that they brought back the women's division in WWE. With Lana, WWE is extremely high on her. They want to push her as the modern-day Sable, the new top diva superstar. One would think eventually she'll be in the ring and wrestling, and she'll be doing everything in WWE. She'll be wrestling, she'll be doing the magazines, she'll be doing the photo shoots, all that stuff. She'll be their top diva as a babyface. That's what I'm expecting at this point. But the one question I have is, will they drop the accent? And they've been hinting at it, I guess, if you could say that, on Raw, when I don't know if she was doing this on purpose or what the deal was. But when she was talking, there were times where she wasn't doing the accent. I don't know if that's going to play into the storyline or not. That remains to be seen. But one would think if she's going to be the all-American babyface diva that she's going to drop the accent. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But moving on here, I got this question from Big Marcus C. 1995. Hey Aaron, this is unfair to Rusev. First he loses the US title, and after that he loses Lana. What's going to happen with Rusev now? Please answer in video. Is a bit pissed at WWE. Well, I could have told you a couple months ago. I could have told you a year ago, and in fact, I probably did on the videos. I mentioned Rusev when he was undefeated. People were asking me, who do you think will end Rusev's streak? How long do you think Rusev's character will last? And I remember 7-8 months ago, I believe I said that John Cena would probably be the guy to end Rusev's streak. And not only that, but once Cena beat Rusev and that feud was over, Rusev would probably not be in a position that he's been in for the past year or two. Rusev would be moved down the card, and eventually the character would wear out its welcome, and Rusev would probably turn face or become a comedy wrestler, and that's what I'm expecting to happen at this point. Like I said, the fact that he did give up at Payback and WWE did not protect him in the sense they could have had him refuse to the point where Lana threw in the towel for him, so to speak. The fact that he gave up, I mean, that just goes to show that WWE feels they've gotten as much mileage out of this character as possible, and it's down the card now for Rusev, and 6 months from now, would not surprise me at all to see him teaming up with any number of comedy wrestlers. Maybe he'll join Axelmania, and maybe he'll be the modern-day Nikolai Volkov as a comedy wrestler. I don't know, but I'm expecting him to be moved down the card, and the character is going to slowly be phased out at this point. And I mean, really, it's the kind of character that's only going to have so much mileage. It's going to have a short shelf life. I mean, that's just the way it is with these foreign characters. You do the angle, he won the title, he had his run, and now it's over. So, I mean, that's just the way it is, and we'll see. I mean, there's always a possibility the character might evolve, and maybe he'll continue to be a force in WWE, but just going on how WWE has done it in the past, with Kozlov and Khali and all these guys, I expect things to just go downhill for him from this point forward, unfortunately for him. Got this question here from NoDQ is Jericho. Hey Aaron, keep up the good work. Do you think with the Entourage gang making an appearance at Raw on next week's show, do you think WWE will use this to help fuel Ronda Rousey rumors since she has a part in the upcoming Entourage film? I would hope that that's the only reason that they would bring Entourage onto Raw, because when I think of Entourage on Raw, I think of Jeremy Piven guest hosting all those years ago when he came out and called SummerSlam the Summerfest. So I don't think anything good can come out of Entourage being on Raw. I'm tired of the guest hosts. It's ridiculous now. But yeah, I think it's being done as a token of good faith by WWE to promote Ronda Rousey's project. Keeps her satisfied, and she wants to do the WWE deal anyways. But WWE is going to continue to sweeten the deal and continue to butter her up and make her happy. So I really feel that that's the only reason they're doing it. Other than the fact that they'll take any B-list celebrity that they can get to guest star, guest host, whatever you want to call it. Anybody that comes along and they have an opportunity to get them on the show, they're going to do it, even if it's just, time filler and nothing more. All right, this one comes from Pine Boy 19. Hey Aaron, how do you feel about superstars putting their hands on the divas? Would it be a great way to generate heat, or is that crossing a line? Thanks. Well, looking back in wrestling history, I think if it's done every now and then and it's done to a minimum, it can be very effective. Perfect example would be the Tuesday in Texas angle with Randy Savage and Jake Roberts and Elizabeth. Jake Roberts hitting Elizabeth. I mean, that generated a ton of heat, huge shock, and it made Jake Roberts all the more hated, more than he already was after having the snake bite Randy Savage. That was a tremendous match, tremendous segment. One of my all-time favorite moments from early 90s WWF. But then I think it went to an extreme sometimes in the later years in ECW. When the women are portrayed as objects and, it's kind of like the caveman pulling the woman by the hair type of deal. Not really a big fan of it. Sometimes if the woman is very aggressive towards the male and the male fights back, that's okay. Like, Chyna getting involved with Austin and Austin stunning her. I mean, that was okay. So it just depends on the situation and how the women are portrayed. I don't think something like that would go over well in today's WWE. First of all, I don't think WWE will do it. Second of all, if they did do it, in this politically correct world, and WWE is a publicly traded PG company, I don't think it would go over very well with stockholders and people that are invested in WWE, like advertisers. So I don't think WWE is going to do something like that anytime soon. All right, moving on here. This one comes from Stefan Easty. Hey Aaron, I had a question if you could answer in video, please. If TNA were to go out of business, what impact, no pun intended, would that have on the WWE product and their ratings? Well, I think it would be very minimum. I don't think it would really make any kind of difference one way or another on WWE's product and their ratings. If WWE could not affect WWE, if TNA could not affect WWE back in 2010 on Monday nights, I mean, what are they going to do now if they go out of business? It's not going to change the industry like WCW going under. It's not that kind of dynamic now. TNA is nowhere near at the level WCW was at. I think WWE would perhaps buy the tape library, maybe pick up a few of the TNA superstars, and that would be it. But I mean, TNA is so far off the radar now. WWE doesn't even bother to acknowledge TNA as competition, and I feel it's rightfully so on their part. I mean, TNA really doesn't affect WWE's core business in any way. So them going out of business would it's not going to have the impact that the WCW had when they went under and WWE bought WCW. All right, this one comes from WWE fan Scott. Hi Aaron, longtime viewer, first time asker. Please answer in video. I've been going through 2003 on the network and was wondering why Scott Steiner was being booed in his 2 pay-per-view matches against Triple H. Why was Goldberg met with some boos at Backlash against The Rock? Well, I remember at the time the fans in Boston turned on Scott Steiner midway through the match because the match was sucking. The match was not good, and there was a lot of hype for Scott Steiner, but the match was boring. Steiner kept doing the same suplexes over and over, although Brock Lesnar does it today and everyone goes nuts. But back then, Scott Steiner just wasn't delivering at a level I guess people were expecting, and they turned on the match. And I remember back in the day, there were all these conspiracy theories that Triple H sabotaged the match to try to get the crowd to turn on Steiner. I don't think that was the case. I just think, Scott Steiner, unfortunately, was past his physical peak and couldn't perform at that level that people were expecting on a WWE pay-per-view. As far as Goldberg and why he got booed, just the way he was booked. I mean, they bring in Goldberg, and 2 weeks later after his debut, they have him in a comedy segment with Goldust, and Goldust puts a wig on Goldberg, and that was one problem. And then the Go Home show, that was just a terrible build-up for that Backlash pay-per-view because The Rock kept outsmarting Goldberg, and the heel should not be outsmarting the babyface. When the babyface looks stupid, people aren't going to cheer for the guy. Why cheer for a guy who's stupid? The Rock kept outsmarting Goldberg, and The Rock ran away. The Goldberg tried to get into the car to chase him, and the car wouldn't start. And then Rock came back to the ring. Goldberg came out, and then Gilbert got involved, and Rock laid out Goldberg. I mean, Goldberg just got fooled multiple times on that show and looked like a complete idiot against The Rock. When The Rock constantly outwits him and gets one over on him, of course people are going to boo Goldberg and cheer The Rock. Goldberg was just booked very, very poorly leading up to that match. All right, one more question here from Titty Master. Oh, and I forgot about the whole Whisker Biscuit thing, too. I mean, just insult Goldberg like that and get people to cheer for The Rock. I mean, come on now. But anyways, last question here from Titty Master 1000. Simple question. Since Samoa Joe and most of the top indie stars of a few years ago, now in NXT, do you think AJ Styles will ever make the jump? Honestly, I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened a year ago. I think that it's the same situation that it was 10 plus years ago. AJ Styles was offered a developmental deal in WWE, and he turned it down because he could make more money on the independent scene doing his own thing. I think with AJ Styles, he realizes that he doesn't fit the mold of the kind of guys WWE likes to push on top. But then again, we're starting to see guys like Neville do well, and Samoa Joe's there now. So it could be a changing landscape. I mean, with Triple H having more and more influence, I mean, who knows? Maybe one day AJ Styles and WWE will be able to come to terms. I mean, I would not completely rule it out. I just think that with each year that passes by, it's less likely that AJ will come into WWE. I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened a year ago. So that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Lots of videos coming up this weekend, a lot of content. Tell a friend, and stay tuned for more. I'll see you guys next time.